Hi there guys, I hope you have had a good day. Now, Canelo versus Callum Smith. This is going to be a fight that could potentially take place on December 19th or December 18th. Now, obviously Canelo has found himself as a free agent after leaving DAZN and Golden Boy. So Canelo had a few decisions and options on the table for him. He's very lucky to be in a position where he brings in a lot of money and a lot of eyes to the sport. So it means that Canelo is able to demand certain things. So he doesn't have to worry about finding another network because they are all lining up to sign Canelo. Whether it's for 5 fights or whether it's for 1 fight, they want Canelo on their platform. Even DAZN still want Canelo because obviously he actually moved away from DAZN, but Eddie Hearn explained DAZN probably have the biggest budget in boxing and therefore they are happy to pay Canelo to come back to their platform despite leaving the contract. So, I mean, Canelo versus Callum Smith, I would imagine DAZN would be happy to put a bid in for that fight, and Callum Smith has previously fought on the DAZN platform. Obviously in the UK he is a Sky Sports fighter, but still, this is an epic opportunity for Callum Smith and a very good fight. The difficulty is going to be the fact that maybe Callum Smith did struggle in there with someone like a John Ryder, who was a smaller opponent who did work down to the body. If he struggled in there with someone like a John Ryder, then Canelo is a completely different kettle of fish to John Ryder. So it's going to be very difficult for Callum Smith in there with Canelo, but not impossible. Callum Smith does have that size on his side, but still, Canelo seems to bridge that gap extremely well in there with fighters like Kovalev and those kind of fighters, although Callum Smith has a lot more in the tank than Kovalev did. So it will be an evenly matched fight in that sense when you think that Canelo is an elite level fighter and Callum Smith is a world level fighter, but in a different weight class and he's a lot bigger. I mean, Callum Smith is like 6'3" or 6'4", so he will obviously have a decided size and weight advantage when they step into the ring. Obviously it will be at 168, but still, he will still have that weight advantage because he will be dehydrating more so than Canelo. But it won't be a lot because obviously Callum Smith will have to be a certain weight anyway if he is going to make 168. So there won't be a huge difference between the two of them other than the height and reach of Callum Smith. The only problem is with that is Canelo is able to easily navigate his way through a jab and use his positioning and his timing to counter his opponent. That is going to be very difficult for Callum Smith in this fight because it's alright if you have someone who's a bit taller, then the speed will be the same, whereas Canelo will be someone who will be closing the gap very quickly and landing short, powerful shots on the inside. Callum Smith seemed to struggle when John Ryder managed to close the distance. Canelo will do it faster and he will create angles also. He will land punches on the inside, whereas John Ryder was landing them on the elbows and the gloves of Callum Smith, which Smith was able to soak up, whereas Callum Smith won't be able to take the same kind of punishment from Canelo because the punches will be landing. Because Canelo is very fast and relentless obviously, but it's not just about that, he's very accurate also. That is the reason why he has been able to be so successful during his career. He seems to be the whole package. He's not just a 10 out of 10 in 1 or 2 things, he's like a 9 out of 10 in basically everything. The one thing he doesn't have is he's not extremely fast on his feet. He does look it because he has good positioning, and when he does move, he doesn't necessarily cross his legs or anything like that. So his positioning in the ring is almost unflawed. That is the reason why he seems so quick. But his feet weren't always that fast, and he did come unstuck against an opponent who had faster feet to him, and that was Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather was able to make Canelo fall short by using his faster feet, and obviously Mayweather had positioning just as good if not better than Canelo. He utilized that and used it to his advantage. That was one thing that Canelo could not stick with in there with someone like Floyd Mayweather. So what he done was, you can't necessarily make your feet faster. You can to some extent, but not a lot. It's the same as trying to make yourself a better power puncher. You can to a certain extent, but then there is a limit. So what Canelo done was focus on positioning more so than anything else. And if you have good positioning, you are able to navigate yourself around the ring much better than you would if you didn't have good positioning. So that is one thing Canelo has developed more so than having a natural ability to doing. So Callum Smith, how can he win this fight? Is there any way in which he can overturn Canelo? Well, I would say that he's got more than just a puncher's chance, but still it is going to be very difficult for him to go in there and stick with an elite level fighter like Canelo. I am glad though that they have made this fight, because potentially we could have got Canelo versus Andy Yildirim, so this is much better, and these are the type of fights that should be happening. Respect to Canelo for seeking out this fight. Respect for Callum Smith for taking this kind of fight also. He has been waiting. This is the fight that he has wanted. And luckily for him, he has been granted the golden opportunity. Guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, leave a thumbs up, and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.